Hi there, Sugar Snaps. If you have been using oil-based inks on your block printing materials, you're going to need something stronger than water and soap to clean them off. And you can use mineral spirits or turpentine, but I prefer to use olive oil because it's non-toxic. So we'll be using olive oil and paper towels to clean off our materials now. When you have finished doing your block printing, it's time to clean your tools and surface. If you're using oil-based ink, you can do that with turpentine or other paint thinner type chemical. I prefer not to use that, and so instead I use olive oil, and this is just an extra light olive oil. You can use any kind. Just get a cheap bottle of olive oil or vegetable oil. And what I do is I have paper towels and I put some olive oil onto the paper towel, just putting it over the top and dumping some on, controlling the amount that transfers. And then I'll start with my brayer, and I'm going to rub this onto that space with the olive oil and rub off the ink. So I have this folded in half, and I'm just going to rub it on all sides, getting as much ink transferred as possible just by rolling it. And then you can take it and start to slide along that oil, kind of greasing all over your brayer. And then throw your paper towels in the trash as you're working. And then I'll use another one to wipe off the ink and the oil that has been transferred onto the brayer. My brayer is well loved, so there is a lot of staining on it which won't come off. Know the state of your brayer so that you just scrub and clean to that point. I'll do another roll to make sure I have all of the olive oil off and the brayer isn't greasy anymore. And then you can set that aside. Now for your blocks, you'll do a similar process where you print off as much of the ink as possible, and then take a little bit of the olive oil on a paper towel and dab it on there. And if you have larger blocks, you can use the paper towel and go down like this to rub off the ink. Press off as much ink as you can, and then any that is extra in the cracks, you can take a fine paintbrush and take it to the sink and use a little bit of soap and water to brush away through the water all of the rest of that ink. Some of it may stay in the crevices, especially with the softer blocks, because it melds into the material, but you can get most of it clean. And then finally, for your palette, I'll drip a little bit of oil into the center, like so, and then use another paper towel and rub it in the circular motion on the surface of the palette, lifting up the ink. And there's your palette clean. Now, if you are using the acrylic paint and textile medium or a water-based ink, then you can use the sink and a little bit of soap to wash off your brayer, your palette, and your blocks. Run some cool water over your tools and rinse them off in the sink. And finally, your hands and your work surface. I end up with a lot of ink on my hands at the end of this process, so I'll use the olive oil to wipe away any ink off of my skin. I like using the olive oil again because it's good for your skin as well as better for the environment than turpentine. And you can use this as well if you have a work surface that you need to wipe down. If you got any ink on your work surface and you don't have paper down, go ahead and use a little bit of olive oil on a paper towel to wipe that up. If your surface is covered like mine here, you can move everything off of it and just take off the sheet of paper that you've covered your work surface with and reset it. If you want to see more block printing videos from me, like this video. And be sure to subscribe below so that you get notified of any new videos that I put out. I have a block printing playlist. You can check that out up here as well as in the description below for lots of block printing projects and techniques. And check the description below for all the materials we used in this video, as well as more block printing information and resources. And sign up for my email list for monthly updates with lots of resources for block printing, natural dyeing, spinning, basket weaving, and lots of other fiber arts. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Happy making.